So, you want to understand the American education system? That's awesome, but also kind of a big deal. Because unlike in many countries where one central government makes all the rules, the United States does things differently. The main thing to remember is that there isn't one single U.S. education system. Instead, there are 50 of them, plus a few more for its territories. Each state gets to decide what its students learn, how they're tested, and how its schools are funded. This creates a fascinating and sometimes confusing patchwork of educational experiences across the country. It's a system built on local control, which is a very American idea. This decentralized approach means that a high school in Texas might have a completely different curriculum and graduation requirements than a high school in Vermont. The federal government, through the Department of Education, can offer funding and suggest national standards like the Common Core, but it can't force states to adopt them. This power dynamic is a constant source of debate. Local school districts, which are even smaller units of government, also have a say, managing everything from hiring teachers to setting the school calendar. So, when we talk about American education, we're really talking about a collection of interconnected, yet independent systems. This structure has both strengths and weaknesses. On one hand, it allows communities to tailor education to their specific needs and values. A rural district in Montana might prioritize agricultural science, while a district in Silicon Valley, California, might focus heavily on coding and technology. This flexibility can be a huge asset, allowing for innovation and responsiveness. It empowers local leaders, parents, and educators to have a direct impact on their children's learning environments, which can foster a strong sense of community ownership and involvement in the educational process. This is the ideal, at least. On the other hand, this same structure can lead to significant inequalities. The quality of a child's education can depend heavily on their zip code. States and districts with more wealth can often afford better-funded schools, newer technology, and higher teacher salaries. This creates disparities in resources and opportunities that are a major challenge for the nation. It means that while some students attend world-class public schools, like Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology in Virginia, others in less affluent areas might face overcrowded classrooms and outdated materials. It's a complex reality of American life. The educational journey for most Americans follows a pretty standard path, often called the K through 12 system, which stands for kindergarten through 12th grade. It all begins very early. Many children start with preschool or pre-kindergarten around ages 3 or 4, which is optional and usually paid for by parents. The official start, however, is kindergarten, which most kids enter at age 5. This is the first step in a long, structured climb. From there, students move into elementary school, which typically covers 1st through 5th grade, where they learn the foundational subjects like reading, writing, math, and science. After elementary school, around age 11, students transition to middle school, also known as junior high. This phase usually includes 6th through 8th grade and is designed to prepare them for the more rigorous demands of high school. The subjects become more specialized, and students often have different teachers for each one. Then comes the Big One High School, which covers 9th through 12th grade, from about age 14 to 18. This is where students earn the credits needed to receive their high school diploma, the essential credential for moving on to college or entering the workforce. It's a time of immense social and academic growth. Upon successfully completing high school, students are ready for the next level, higher education. This is where the paths really start to diverge. The first degree many pursue is an associate degree, which typically takes 2 years to complete at a community college. It can be a direct pathway into a specific career or a stepping stone to a 4-year university. The most common undergraduate degree is the bachelor's degree, which requires about 4 years of full-time study at a college or university. This degree is the standard for many professional jobs in the United States. For those who want to specialize even further, there's graduate school. After earning a bachelor's degree, a student can pursue a master's degree, which usually takes 1 to 2 years and offers advanced knowledge in a specific field, like business or education. The highest academic degree one can achieve is a doctorate, or PhD, which involves several years of intensive research and study, culminating in a dissertation. This is the path for those who want to become expert researchers, university professors, or leaders in their field. Each step on this ladder opens up new doors and opportunities. Welcome to the vast and sometimes bewildering universe of American higher education. It's not a one-size-fits-all system. Instead, it's a diverse ecosystem of institutions, each with its own mission and character. The most accessible starting point for many is the community college. These are two-year public institutions that offer associate degrees and vocational certificates. They are fantastic because they have lower tuition costs and open admission policies, making education available to a broader population. Many students complete their first 2 years at a community college before transferring to a 4-year university to complete a bachelor's degree, saving a lot of money in the process. Next up are public universities. These are large institutions funded by state governments, like the University of California system or the Ohio State University. Because they receive public funding, they generally offer lower tuition rates, especially for in-state residents. That is, students who live in the same state as the university. These schools often have massive student populations, a wide array of degree programs, and big-time college sports teams. They are research powerhouses and serve as major educational hubs for their states, educating a large portion of the population and driving local economies. On the other side of the coin are private universities. These institutions do not receive primary funding from the government and rely instead on tuition, endowments, and donations. Examples range from small liberal arts colleges to large research universities like Stanford University or Duke University. Private schools are often more expensive than their public counterparts, but they may also offer smaller class sizes and more specialized programs. Within this group, you'll find the famous Ivy League schools, a group of 8 historic universities in the Northeast, including Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, known for their extreme selectivity and academic prestige. Finally, a key distinction is between teaching-focused colleges and research universities. While most institutions do both, research universities, both public and private, place a heavy emphasis on scientific and scholarly research. Schools like MIT and Johns Hopkins University are at the forefront of innovation, with professors who are leading experts actively pushing the boundaries of knowledge. These institutions attract massive research grants and offer incredible opportunities for students, especially at the graduate level, to participate in groundbreaking work. This diversity of institutions is a core strength, offering a potential fit for nearly every student's goals and interests. So let's talk about the elephant in the room: cost. Pursuing an education in the United States can be expensive, and the price tag varies dramatically. For K-12, public school is generally free for residents, funded by state and local taxes. However, private K-12 schools, which some families choose for religious reasons or specialized programs, require tuition that can range from a few thousand to over $50,000 per year. The real financial challenge for most people begins with higher education. A year at a public community college might cost around $4,000 in tuition, which is a relatively affordable entry point. The costs escalate significantly at 4-year institutions. For an in-state student at a public university, average tuition and fees are around $11,000 per year. However, for an out-of-state student attending that same public university, the cost can jump to over $28,000 annually. Private universities are the most expensive, with average tuition and fees soaring to nearly $40,000 per year, and elite schools often costing much more. It's also important to remember that costs differ by region. Schools in the Northeast and on the West Coast tend to be more expensive than those in the South or Midwest. But tuition is only part of the story. Students also have to cover living expenses, which can easily add another $15,000 to $25,000 per year to the total cost. This includes housing, food, textbooks, transportation, and personal expenses. A typical student's monthly budget might include $800 for rent, $400 for food, and another $300 for utilities, books, and other necessities. These costs add up quickly, making the total price of a 4-year degree a major financial commitment for any family. Despite these daunting figures, an American education is still attainable for many thanks to financial aid. The system is flexible, and world-class opportunities are available, but navigating the cost is key. Students can apply for scholarships, which are grants of money that don't need to be repaid, offered by universities, companies, and nonprofits. They can also apply for federal aid, including grants like the Pell Grant for low-income students and student loans. While the cost is a significant challenge, the existence of these support systems ensures that for many, the American dream of achieving a higher education remains within reach. If you found this guide helpful, remember to subscribe to our channel for more insights and tips on education in the U.S.